What is going on, everyone? It's Jacqueline here from Nothing But Tech. Hope you guys are all doing well. Welcome back to another video. Did you guys see how I slowed that down? I listened to you guys, for real. Welcome to a different part of the studio. The studio is almost done, so expect a tour real soon. But in today's video, we're talking about the iPhone XS Max and the iPhone XS. So I want to give you guys my review, my experience with it. It's been out for a couple weeks now. I've been using it on the daily for that duration of time. So I want to focus more so on experience than specs, although I will briefly mention the specs for people that are interested and want like the full picture review. If I leave anything out of this review or there's any questions that like you're dying to ask, just leave them in a comment down below and I'm going to try my best to respond to it. But let's dive right in. So it's been said before, but I'm going to say it again. This is an S upgrade, so you're not going to see much in terms of design changes. Most changes are internal. The main design change is the size on the Max. I'm going to dive into that more later, but without the larger screen, the devices are still a metal and glass sandwich with the same size notch, the same potential breakability, and the same fingerprint pick-up-tivity. That is like for sure not a word, but I feel like you got my point. Moving on. The phones also come in a new blush gold color, which looks pretty clean. I have that in the regular XS, and it looks pretty good. I'm a fan. So the phone is still pretty slippery and fingerprint prone, as I already mentioned. The Max is a little bit harder to handle just because it's bigger, but both of them are definitely gonna slide off surfaces and out of your pocket at times. That sounds crazy, but it actually happens. Moving on to the performance, this is where you're probably going to see the most notable upgrade this year. When you look at sheer specs, it's not looking too hot, but let's run down those quick for the people who actually want that, and then I'm going to get into actual real-world performance, because with Apple, you never get the full story from the specs. Their phones are some of the fastest in the market, and they have some of the worst specs for flagships. So yeah, let's just run them down really quickly. So you have the A12 Bionic chip on a 7nm, I believe, and that's actually a really impressive engineering feat. I'm not going to spend like time on that, but that is impressive, and it's a fast chip, and it's kind of involved in everything that the phone is trying to do. Then in terms of storage, you get up to 512 gigabytes for both the XS and the XS Max. You get 4 gigabytes of RAM, and then the XS has a 5.8-inch display, and the XS Max is a 6.5-inch display. The resolution is 2436 by 1125 and 2688 by 1042, respectively. Connectivity, you have Bluetooth and NFC again. And in terms of battery life, on the XS, you're getting a 2,658 milliamp hour battery, and on the Max, you're getting a 3,174 milliamp hour battery. Alright, so the phone is fast. That's the short story. The longer story is that it's a really, really fast phone, but it's not an extremely reliable phone 100% of the time. So I don't know if it's just my unit, but I've talked to a couple other tech YouTubers that have kind of been like, yep, I agree with you on this, and it also could definitely be a software thing. But I find that the phone lags and crashes in certain areas where I just would like it not to. I'm opening up the camera app and I'm trying to send 8 photos to someone or 5 photos to someone, and after the first couple go through, when I click the send button, it freezes. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to capture this on camera, but it happens often enough where like it's an annoyance. I have to shut off the app, reopen it, try again, sometimes even shut down the phone. And then it's just simpler stuff. Like I'm in a landscape app and then I transition to a vertical app, and my like swipe up virtual home button gets stuck on the left side, and then I have to like use it from the landscape side even though I'm holding the phone not in that way. So that's weird. It's just like small things like that. It definitely doesn't like ruin the experience by any means. And when the phone works, it's like the fastest phone that I've ever used. But I would love to see reliability improved, and I'm sure it will get improved in software, but I felt like as of now, when I'm recording this video, it was worth mentioning. The screen is still a gorgeous OLED panel with the notch, and on the bigger version, the notch will appear to look slightly smaller because of the proportions, but it's the same size. The Max also has a 6.5-inch screen compared to the 5.8-inch display in the regular version. And I didn't realize that I needed or even wanted a bigger screen, but now since I have it, I actually like can't go back to the smaller one. Everything is just easier on a bigger screen. From typing, you get that larger keyboard, especially if you have like bigger fingers, to watching content, it just looks better. Everything is it's better on a bigger screen, and it's a big screen, but it's a very manageable screen, especially with 2 hands. I made a full video where I compared it to a banana and a Hershey bar, and we got some flack for the banana comparison, but if you want to check out that video, I'm going to leave that in the description below just so you can kind of get a size comparison. But holding it up in my hands real quick, this is the Max over here, and this is the regular version. And you can kind of see it's a bigger phone, but it's not that much bigger. It's about the same size as the Note 9. But both screens are really sharp, and they look pretty great in direct sunlight. They're also some of the most accurate displays on the market. Some people have been reporting some blue shift, but I haven't noticed that on my unit, so if it is there, it doesn't bother me, and I don't even think it is. In terms of battery life, again, it's a small upgrade. You should expect like a little bit more, like 30 minutes or an hour more, depending on the device, and you are able to get through a day on moderate to heavy use, but if you're really like slamming and watching like a ton of videos on here, it might be a little bit rough to get the full day. For me, I can get from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. on heavy use and 7 a.m. to like 8 p.m. on moderate use. So my heavy use would consist of responding to emails, watching videos, Twitter, Instagram, all the stuff that is keeping me from being productive. That's what I'm doing on there. But the camera feels like a really big upgrade this year. With a variable aperture feature and updates to portrait mode as a whole, I actually love this camera and I enjoyed every second of taking pictures on it. I did a full camera comparison video with the Note 9, so if you want to see like more camera samples and stuff, you should check out that video. But the story here is regular video in 4K mode is really solid. Photos look good, and improved high dynamic range means that the photos in harsh light are still going to be really well exposed. So you take a photo of yourself with the sky, you're not going to look like a silhouette. But the portrait mode looks really good as well. After the photo is taken, the blur can now be adjusted, which is a big improvement over last year. But the phone is smart when it adjusts the blur. So unlike some phones that just will do a universal blur, this phone actually figures out how far away things are from the camera and blurs it according to that. Of course, it still misses sometimes with hair or something else unexpected, especially non-human objects. It does not do a great job with, but for the most part, it looks really good. And for the general consumer, they now have better access to professional photos. I've been seeing so many portrait photos being posted by my friends on Instagram, so it really seems like the general consumer is loving this. For you or me, who may have like an expensive camera that can still portray that DSLR effect, I don't know how impressive this is going to be for you, but for the general consumer, it looks really good. I actually find myself posting a lot of my Instagram photos now with it just because it's easy, and with Instagram compression and everything, it looks really good. So the camera on the back, both of them are really good. Overall, the selfie camera is also pretty good, but it's plagued, or it has this new feature, let's call it, where it softens the image. So in hopes of like reducing noise in the image, everything looks softer. So this is getting dubbed like beauty gate, and basically it's just giving everyone a softer skin. So I kind of have a dissenting opinion on this, like it's different than everyone else. I actually don't mind this because for the general consumer, which is kind of who I'm constantly thinking about, especially with iPhones, I feel like this is like the phone of many general consumers. It's a good thing because like tech-savvy people, we know how to edit our photos. So we don't necessarily need the iPhone doing it for us. But for general consumers, they're not going to know how to realistically edit their skin to make it look like smooth and stuff. And honestly, I've seen a lot of people on my Instagram post stuff and you're like, that is a terrible editing job. You're like, you can so clearly see that they whitened their teeth and they tried to fix their skin. It just looks so bad. I feel like it's actually kind of a good thing because I feel like people are going to be editing the photos a little bit less now. And also it makes you look a little bit prettier in front of the camera. So a little bit less realistic, but your skin looks a little like smoother now and a little bit like more creamy, if that makes sense. I don't know, I want to know like what you think of it, but I actually haven't really thought it's a bad thing. Okay, so there aren't a ton of extras on either of these phones. They have a good build, a good camera, a great screen, good performance, and a decent battery life. They check most of the boxes. This is going to be a really good phone to anyone that picks it up. They're going to really enjoy it. But what I'm going to say is if you're considering upgrading and you have a 10, I would only upgrade to the max. I don't think that the 10S is enough of a substantial upgrade to like pay and give that money. But I've been hearing a lot of people say, well, I don't need the phone, but I want the phone. Am I going to like it if I get it? And my answer to that is yes. You're getting the new upgraded camera features. You're getting a new gold color, which looks pretty sweet. Especially if you do the max, and you're getting a much larger screen, and then that actually feels like a really noteworthy upgrade. So that's kind of my thoughts on it. If you're anything like beyond the 10, like if you're on the 8 or the 7 or the 6, these are great phones to upgrade to. A lot of people are also asking, well, do I wait for the 10R? And I just feel like that's in a different class because it's a lot cheaper. It's got a worse quality screen, not as good of a camera. So I don't know, like I think they're completely different classes of phones that you'd be looking into. I would almost get like a 10 from last year over the 10R, but obviously I have to test out the 10R before I say that definitively, and I'm for sure going to be bringing content on that. But let me know what you think of the 10S and the 10S Max. Let me know if you enjoyed this video by smashing the like button. It actually helps a lot. I have a bunch of tech events that I've been going to and I'm going to continue to go to, so there's a lot of content coming your way. If you want to see more of that content and get notified right away, subscribe right here, and to check out some of my other content, click right here. Thank you guys all so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it, and I hope to catch you guys on the next one. Bye!